Ketanji Brown Jackson's story is a powerful example of the American dream. Her journey to becoming the first Black woman on the Supreme Court is a lesson in strength and determination. Her career has been focused on making the legal system fair for everyone. The summary explores her life, from her earliest memories to her historic role, showing how her dedication to justice has helped shape the nation. Jackson's earliest memories set the stage for her future. She remembers being just 4 years old, sitting at the kitchen table while her father studied his law books. She would sit across from him, practicing her own letters. This image of focus and purpose stuck with her. Her parents, Johnny and Ellery Brown, were hardworking and principled. They taught her to be dedicated and to take pride in her Black heritage. Her mother was the main provider while her father was in law school, showing Ketanji a strong example of warmth and strength. Her family's life was deeply affected by the racial segregation in Florida during the 1950s and 60s. Jim Crow laws limited where Black people could live, work, and eat. Her grandparents had moved from rural Georgia to Miami searching for better opportunities, hoping their children could get a good education. Ketanji's father had a difficult childhood, but he met Ellery in Miami, and together they built a life focused on education and civil rights. When Ketanji was born in 1970, her aunt gave her the name Ketanji Wanika, which means lovely one. From a young age, Ketanji's parents pushed her to be confident. Her mother told her never to give up, insisting that if someone else could do something, she could too. This helped her stay focused, especially when she was one of the few Black students in her school's gifted program. She became aware of stereotypes that suggested Black people were not as smart. Her parents taught her to ignore these ideas and embrace learning. As she got older, she learned about the idea of double consciousness, the feeling of being torn between two identities, being Black and being American. She often felt aware of how others saw her, which made her value moments when she could just be herself. A key moment taught her humility. She found a note from her grandmother, Creanie, who had not finished grade school. Ketanji laughed at the misspellings, but her mother reminded her how hurtful that laughter could be. Her grandmother, a source of love and wisdom, forgave her. The experience taught Ketanji to value her blessings and respect the struggles of those who came before her. While her energetic brother, Ketas, eventually became a police officer, Ketanji was drawn to academics, theater, and public speaking. She found her passion for law by learning about trailblazers like Constance Baker Motley and Sandra Day O'Connor. Attending Harvard University was a huge change from Miami. Ketanji felt like she didn't belong among students from such different, elite backgrounds. She felt isolated and full of doubt. One day, as she was feeling low, a stranger walked past her on campus and whispered one word: persevere. That single word stuck with her and became her motivation. She found a strong sense of community in her study group, which became a sisterhood, and in the Black Students Association. These groups helped her feel connected and allowed her to embrace her identity. While at Harvard, she began to do well in her classes, especially those focused on justice. She also faced personal loss when her grandmother Queenie passed away, which was hard to handle so far from home. During this time, she met Patrick Jackson, a fellow student from a wealthy white family. Despite their different backgrounds, they connected over their shared passion for equality. Patrick's work mentoring students from marginalized communities impressed her, and they began dating. An internship in Harlem showed her how race and poverty affected the justice system, solidifying her commitment to law. Harvard Law School was exhausting. The teaching style, known as the Socratic method, was difficult for her, as she preferred working together with others. However, she loved her trial advocacy workshop, which let her practice courtroom skills. She earned a place on the prestigious Harvard Law Review, which she greatly enjoyed. In 1996, she and Patrick got married. After law school, she had 2 important clerkships. The first was with Judge Patty Saris, who became a mentor by showing her how to balance a high-powered legal career with family life. During her time with Judge Saris, Ketanji worked on a major case involving students with learning disabilities. This experience was fulfilling and would become personally relevant later in her life. Her next clerkship was with Judge Bruce Celia, which helped her become a more precise legal writer. In 1999, she received a call to clerk for Supreme Court Justice Stephen Breyer. This was a huge opportunity. She learned how the court decided which cases to hear, and admired Justice Breyer's careful approach to the law. While working the demanding Supreme Court clerkship, Ketanji discovered she was pregnant. She worked hard until the end of the term. And her daughter, Talia, was born in 2001. She returned to work at a large law firm, but struggled with being away from her baby and felt out of place. She realized Big Low was not the right fit for her or her family. She left to work on the September 11th Victim Compensation Fund, which felt more meaningful. In 2004, her second daughter, Leela, was born. The family soon faced a new challenge when Talia began having seizures and was diagnosed with a mild form of autism. They worked closely with doctors to support her at the same time. Ketanji found her passion again when she joined the U.S. Sentencing Commission. She became a leading voice in fighting for fairness in criminal sentencing, especially for the different sentences given for crack versus powder cocaine, which unfairly affected Black communities. Her strong advocacy, encouraged by President Obama, was risky for her career. But she stood by her principles. Her hard work and dedication paid off. Soon after her powerful speech on sentencing, she was encouraged to apply for a federal judge position. In 2012, she was officially nominated to the U.S. District Court in Washington, D.C. She was only the second Black woman to ever serve on that court. As she took the oath, she was filled with gratitude, amazed at how far she had come. In early 2022, Justice Breyer, her former boss, announced he was retiring. Ketanji learned she was being considered to replace him. The process was intense, and she worried about the scrutiny her family would face, but her husband and daughters gave her their full support. When President Biden called to officially nominate her, she was overwhelmed with honor. During her confirmation hearings, she explained that a judge's job is to protect the law, not to use their personal beliefs. A photo of her daughter Leela smiling proudly at her during the hearing went viral, capturing the family's support. On April 7, 2022, Ketanji Brown Jackson was confirmed as the 116th Supreme Court Justice. She watched the vote with President Biden, feeling a mix of relief and excitement. She knew she was carrying a great responsibility. She felt grateful for the trailblazers before her, like Judge Constance Baker Motley, who had inspired her to dream big. In her public speeches, she emphasized that her achievement was not just for her, but for everyone who felt unseen. She hoped her story would inspire others, especially young Black girls, to believe in their own potential and open doors for the generations to come.